Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet Dr. Christopher S. Taylor. He is the head of the Taylor Counseling Group, and his purpose in life is helping other people find their purpose. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, it's hard to imagine. The pandemic was 6 years ago. We're celebrating the anniversary of the pandemic, I think, this month. And if you think about it, you had the world shut down. You had everybody go to a Zoom camera. They weren't interacting with anybody. One of the greatest diseases on the planet is loneliness. So our seniors took a toll. Some of our young people did because they were separated from all their friends. And then we said, okay, never mind. We're open again. Go back to your normal life. So I would submit that we do have a mental health pandemic going on right now that is still being diagnosed. Dr. Christopher S. Taylor is in the studio. He is the founder and CEO of the Taylor Counseling Group. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, let's talk about the pandemic since we mentioned that. What happened to your practice during the pandemic?
Well, at first we thought we were just kind of toast. Like I think everybody did. I mean, when it hit and we all had to, what was the order? Shelter in place and all that. I mean, we couldn't go into the office. Lots of patients were, canceling for obvious reasons. Nobody knew what was going on. Those first few months were really, really rocky. And I mean, we were thinking about maybe just closing shop or just, converting into a nonprofit or something, just trying to figure some way forward. And then, everyone realized that we are social creatures and that we have to have connection in our life constantly with other people in order to thrive. And then people realized that telehealth was an option. And I think, had the pandemic been 20 years earlier, it might have been a bigger problem for us because telehealth wasn't such an option, but we had that ability. And then clients started calling and wanting to book sessions more regularly. People were all working from home for a while. I think for a lot of people started working from home for a long period of time after the pandemic. And that allowed for even more access to telehealth. And so, we just started helping as many people as we can.
And your firm has been growing by leaps and bounds. How many therapists do you have now across the state?
We're over 55. We have 10 locations, 4 here in DFW. We've got 2 offices in San Antonio, 1 in Houston, Waco, and Austin. That's
incredible. Let's go ahead and pull up his website. And as we scroll down the website, I just looked at some of the highlights from the website. You work with individuals, couples, families, even recommending support animals. I mean, you really do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we like to think of ourselves as the In-N-Out burger of therapy. We do individual, double, that's your couple, triple, that's your family, and then animal style for the support animals.
Even a combo meal.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to the very beginning, your journey. When do you remember being fascinated by mental health?
Oh, I've always been fascinated with how things work, right? So when I was a kid, I was the kind of kid that would take the VCR, for those of you that know what a VCR is.
Yes.
And I would take it out in the garage when my dad was at work, and I would take it apart, try to figure out how the dinosaurs were getting made in there. I was what is happening in this box? And then, of course, I'd put it back together wrong, and my dad would get really upset. So that's how I started to fall in love with how things work. And then after that, I fell in love with how people work. I fell in love with that in college. One of my friends was going through a really bad breakup at the time and just loved talking to me about it. And I was just so fascinated. I was curious.
Sure.
So one of my favorite quotes is Walt Whitman, always be curious. So just constantly wanting to learn more and more and more about why we make choices, why we make certain decisions, or why we don't make choices, what stops us from making an active choice in our life. And so that led me down the road to where I ended up working at CPS, and then I fell in love with, actually helping people in that process, and then that's put me on my journey to get my master's and then doctorate in counseling.
And you have an exciting new book coming up in a couple months.
I do, yes.
Tell us about the book.
Yeah, the book is You Are Here. It is a story of several people that I've worked with throughout my career who all went through this journey of self-discovery and to learn how to live their authentic life, to be their most authentic self.
All right, tell me one of your favorite success stories.
Brooke, all the names are
pseudonyms.
Pseudonyms, yeah, of course, yeah. But Brooke was one of my just favorite stories. Brooke met me in this horrible time in her life where her husband was having an affair and he wanted to leave the marriage. And Brooke had built her entire identity on this marriage and this husband. And when he left, and he quit therapy and he left, Brooke and I continued to work together individually. And she was able to go through this. It was a long process for her, but she was able to go through this process of making active choices in her life, choices to challenge herself, choices to do things that she normally wouldn't, choices like choosing to live alone instead of with somebody else to build her own identity, these types of things. She did a lot of deep, hard work. And then she decided to end therapy when she was doing really well. And then a couple years later, she calls me and comes into my office, and I don't know who this person is that's standing in front of me.
Wow.
She's like, I have achieved my dream job. I now travel the world. She was in really great physical condition. She looked like she was glowing.
Wow.
It was just so amazing. And literally, though, when she walked in, I was like, I don't recognize you. I couldn't tell who she was right away.
Well, tell me about your personal therapy style, because every therapist is a little different.
Oh, we're all very different. Yeah, we're like the dinosaurs from Land Before Time. We all do things a little differently. I am an existential psychotherapist. So what that means is I do deep work. So I help people work through value building. Mm-hmm. So I challenge your idea on what your values are, help you to explore those values. We look at values as sort of like the building blocks of our identity. And then we make choices every day. And those choices are either in line with your values or they're incongruent with your values. And small little choices, like that's okay. Like if you really value fitness, but you sneak by McDonald's every once in a while,
right?
And you tell yourself, it's okay. That's like a small little choice, right? Not a big deal, not a big deal, but a small little choice. You make that choice often enough over time, you start to come into conflict, right? So so that desire to have that nice little quick fix versus the healthy lifestyle that you want, those are now incongruent. They're now in conflict.
Yes.
And we call this the big fancy word, an existential crisis, right? You start saying like, who am I? What is the purpose of my life? And all this stuff.
Well, we were talking before the show that I think people are having mental health crises at an early age. We, famously talk about the midlife crisis, but I'm seeing a quarter life crisis where 25-year-olds are waking up saying, I hate my life.
Yep. That's true. Yes, that's happening. We're in a mental health crisis. We're in a loneliness pandemic. Very true. And I think we're going to start seeing high schoolers do this too. We're forcing our children to decide what they want to do when they're 40, when they're 12 years old.
Right. Right.
And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say 12. I mean, there are 12-year-olds right now preparing to get into a specific school so that they can be pre-med, so that they can go here and then they can do this. And we're putting way too much pressure on our children.
And often it's the parents' values that, the dad's a lawyer or the mom's a lawyer, and so the kid's going to go to law school.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to live or wanting to pursue what your parents did, if that's something that excites you. It's so impossible for a 12-year-old to decide that, or even for a 15-year-old or an 18-year-old. Our brain is still developing well into our early 20s. It's too much pressure to put on one small person who is dealing with other stuff.
Yes.
And now we have, social media, right? Before 2009, we did not track preteen suicide in a meaningful way. We didn't have like a real way to track it because you would always consider it would always be logged as an accidental death if something were to happen.
Right.
In 2009, Instagram was released on your smartphone. And we, for the first time ever, began actually tracking real preteen suicides. All that because of that social peer pressure, from that FOMO, from the isolation, from the seeing the fake life on the internet,
right?
All that. Yeah.
Let's dive a little deeper there, because I know friends that will go to Cabo. It rains for 6 days, but they take all the pictures
on
the good day. So we're constantly comparing ourselves to others' fake lives.
Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. My neighbor just got this new massive truck, and he parks it just right outside. I have no envy over this truck. I keep playing pranks on him. I put parking cones around it and stuff, But we can't compare ourselves because we don't know what other people are really struggling with and what they're really going through, right? We can't see into their lives in that way. It might look like everything's great. It might look like they have it all together, but on the inside, they're just telling themselves, I got to keep up the appearance. I got to keep fooling everybody.
Yes. Are you seeing any trends in terms of different demographics? Are you seeing the same kinds of patients or clients that you were 20 years ago?
Oh, no. I mean, therapy is far more acceptable now. The joke is every conversation starts around the water cooler with "my therapist says," or "my therapist told me this." There are therapist memes everywhere. Everyone on reality TV is in therapy, and they talk about their therapist often.
Yes. So the stigma has faded.
It's not faded entirely, right? Because there still is the concern that you need therapy, right? You need this. You're bad, so you need to be in therapy.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely gone. But what we saw 20 years ago, that's gone. That hard judgment is gone.
Let's talk about isolation, because, during the pandemic, I just remember seeing all these videos of children and grandchildren kind of waving at grandma through the window. That really took a toll, didn't it?
Yes.
I want to brag about your dream team, and we don't have enough time in the day to talk about each one of them. But as we pull this page up on the screen, I want you to talk about the kinds of qualities you look for in somebody who joins your team.
Oh, yeah. So we are a company built on values. One of our core values is collaborative growth. So we love seeing therapists that work together as a team. We are not about competition. We are not about outworking each other. We're all about doing it together. And so we love hiring therapists that want to be a part of a cohesive team, that want to work together and help us grow and work with as many people as we possibly can.
And I applaud you, because you have a very diverse group. I mean, male, female, old, young. It's amazing. How big do you see this getting? Are you an empire builder? Do you want to be in all 50 states?
No. I'll let everybody else handle that. No, that's not me at all. I'm surprised we got it this big.
All right. We have about 3 minutes left, so I want you to talk to the camera to the left and talk to that viewer who might be struggling and has never once scheduled a counseling session.
You were here, and so are we. We're ready to help. All you need to do is give us a call, email us. You can find us on the internet, taylorcounselinggroup.com. Give us a call, 214-530-0021. It's so easy to start. We'll help you with every part of the process. It's easy to sign up online 24/7. It's easy to call, ask questions. Everything you say to your therapist is private. They are professional therapists. We don't have anyone on staff that's not licensed legally by the state. We don't have any life coaches or anyone that's out of state. So, everything you do here is confidential, and we're here to help. And there's no problem too big, there's no problem too small that we can't help you get started with.
And you take insurance.
And we take all major insurance, that's right.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with your website, which is taylorcounselinggroup.com, the great Dr. Christopher Taylor.
No.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Definitely not the great.